Hello, good morning. Today, our first lesson on trimester 3, the subject Algebra 2 for grade 10, chapter 7, topic 7.2. It's about the function and its inverse. Our objective of this lesson will be how to draw function and its inverse. How to find inverse function using algebra. First of all, we would like to know that when substituting x value in a function, we get the y value, okay? And we have to draw the function as coordinates 0, 3, 1, and 6, 4, and 9, and so on. And we will get this graph to graph this function and by not by ruler. Okay? Then we will know that the inverse of the function will be the reflection on the line y equal x. From the previous semester, you should know that y equal x is a special line moving through 1 and 1, 2 and 2, 3 and 3, 4 and 4. The y coordinates equal the x coordinates. So the reflection of the function on the y equal x line will be the inverse function. We will find that when drawing the function, the x values will be 0, 1, 4, 6, 10, and the y values will be 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. For the inverse function, the y and x values will be replaced. The x values will be 3, get you 0. When the x value will be 6, y value will be 1. When the x value will be 9, y value will be 4. So the x and y values will change by each other. And now let's try to draw the function values x equals 0 and y equals 6. 0 and 6 will be this point. 2 and 10 will be this point. 5 and 12 will be this point. 8 and 13 will be this point. 10 and 13 will be this point. When completing the inverse function, the values will be changed. The values of the x and y will be changed. When the x equals 0, y will be equal 6. The inverse function, x equals 6 and y will be equal 0. And so on. X will be equal 2 and y equal 10. So the inverse function will be x equal 10 and y equal 2, the inverse of the relation. When x equal 5, y will be equal 12, so the inverse function will be x equal 12 and y equal 5. and so on. X will be equal 13, y will be equal 8. X equals 13, y will be equal 10. When making these points on the graph, we will find that 6 and 0, 10 and 2, 12 and 5, 13 and 8, 13 and 8 also. When joining these lines, we will find that the relation of the function is the reflection on y equal x of the inverse function. And the domain, as you know, domain is the x values, and range is the y values. For the inverse function, the domain is the x values also, but it will be the range of the relation. And the range of the inverse will be the domain of the relation. Let's have an example. For this domain, for this function, the domain of x will be x equals 0 to 10, okay, which is the x values. And y values will be y equals 3 to 11. For the inverse function, x will be from 3 to 11 and y will be from 0 to 10. The inverse, the domain, and the range will be reversed. Then the domain is the x values. The x values of the relation is from 0 to 10 or equal. And the range is the y values, is from 6 to 13. The inverse function, the domain will be from 6 to 13, and the range will be from 0 to 10. And now let's have to get the inverse by using algebra. The first of all, you should memorize that we have 3 steps to get the inverse using algebra. The first step, substitute f of x with y. Second step, make x subject. Third step, the x will be the inverse, and y will swap with x. Let's have an example. If we have f of x equals 3x plus 2. First of all, the steps told you that you should substitute f of x with y. So we will have y equal 3x plus 2. The second step, we will make the x subject. When making x subject, we will have y minus 2 over 3 equal x. The third step is the x that you have make subject, x will be the inverse, f inverse of x. The y will swap with x. This y will written as x, as will be x minus 2 over 3. So the f inverse of x will be x minus 2 over 3. Let's have an example. F of x equal x minus 4. Use inverse operation to write the inverse of each function. The first of all, we will do y equal x minus 4. Change the f of x with y. The second step, we will make the x subject. So we will have y minus y plus 4 equal x. Then we will change x with the inverse, f inverse of x. And we will swap y with x. We will have x plus 4. So the inverse function is x plus 4. Use x equal 5 to check. When you make this operation, you don't need to check. F of x equal x over 6. We want to get the inverse function. First of all, we would like to say that y equal x over 6. Then we will make x subject 6y equal x. Then the x will be the inverse, f inverse of x. And y will swap with x will be 6x. So the inverse function will be 6x. Example number 4. We will make the same steps. Y will be equal x plus 3. X, y minus 3 will be equal x. X will be inverse, f inverse of x. Y will be x. So it will be x minus 3. When f of x equal 14x, y will be equal 14x. X subject. So we will get x equal y over 14. And x will be inverse, f inverse of x equal x over 14. And thank you.